Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today I'm going to talk about daily actions that you need to take every day to grow your VA business. Actually, when you focus on them every day, you can skyrocket your business revenue. Today's quote is from John Maxwell. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. I can't stress the importance enough of good habits and routines in your business. Let's go. It's an extremely well-known fact that good daily actions create success. Why? Because the more you pay attention to certain things in your business, the better you can control them and adjust them. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 things in particular that if you focus on them every single day, it will make you a better VA. Number 1 is money. You need to look at your money every single day. Your sales, your account balances, your payments, your expenses. Whether you do complicated reporting or not, if you don't know how much money you have coming in and going out, you aren't actually managing your business at all. Checking your sales helps you to see what is coming in, of course, but it also helps you to see the opportunities where you can earn more. A daily revenue tracking sheet is something that I provide for my private clients when they need it, and it can help you see how much opportunity you might be leaving on the table. Even if all of your clients pay you on the first of the month, look at the rest of those days. If you have the daily revenue sheet is just a 30-day sheet or 31-day, whatever, it covers every day of the month. And you basically write in on the day how much money you brought in. And looking at it and seeing all of those blank spaces is a really cool mindset shift because it shows you the opportunity that you may have. If you look at the rest of the days in that calendar, where could you squeeze some more projects in to increase what you are bringing in every month? Or maybe you just have an opportunity to start a new client mid-month and renew their payment later in the month, so they're not paying you on the first every month. It is kind of nice to have money coming in more often during any given month. Not everybody needs to be billed on the 1st or the 31st, however you do your billing. It's kind of nice to see money flowing in through the month, and that the daily revenue tracking sheet is an excellent way to seek those opportunities. And looking at what's coming in every day can help you to realize how much opportunity there is. And checking your account balances is always important because it helps keep your money on the top of your mind. If you don't have enough, it reinforces that you need to do some connecting or finding clients. Like right now, like 100% priority. Nothing else is more important for you to do than to get a client. Looking at your payments helps you to see what has gone out and what still has to go out. Cash flow is obviously very critical in your business. And monitoring your expenses is obviously similar to watching your payments, but it goes a little step farther because you're looking at things that you've determined are necessary to pay for in order to run your business. That's when you made the decision to purchase or sign up or register. And when you're looking at those expenses, you should always be looking to see if they're still required, whether they're enough. Maybe you need to increase a level of something that you own or belong to, or whether you should be taking on something new and implementing a new type of automation or support or something like that. Your VA business will cost you money to run. And when you manage your expenses well, you can automate and you can get a lot more done when you are paying for certain things as well. I can help you create very simple checklists and tracking sheets like the daily revenue tracker to help you monitor your money daily. Daily money checks don't take more than 5 or 10 minutes every single day. You should be scheduling it in. And just a little side note, if you aren't making enough money and you don't like to look at your money, that's probably why, because you're not making enough. And again, I'm going to go back to that 100% of your time, or say 99% of your time, should be focused on finding new clients if you are not making enough money in your business right now. Number 2 is goals. you know that I always tell you what you focus on grows. And somebody told me once that, and I know it to be true. It's absolutely true. Lots of quotes about it, right? You must focus on your goals if you're going to achieve them. If you're not thinking about them all the time, or at least once every 24 hours, then you're doing yourself a real disservice. And so, what I mean by focusing on your goals is checking in on them every single day. Look at what you want to be, do, or have. Look at where you are in the process of reaching it, and look how far you've come from the start when you first decided that that was something that you wanted. When I teach virtual assistants to set goals, I also teach them to break the action steps to reach that goal down into very small, manageable pieces. Very small, smaller than they even thought of themselves, which is always a fun exercise to do. And then we put those action steps into the calendar every single day. So when you're looking to reach a goal, you want to do something every single day, very small, that will move you in the direction of that goal. I watch so many VAs who fail at goal setting, or rather reaching the goal altogether. They often abandon them every single day. And I wholeheartedly believe that it doesn't mean anything about you as a business owner, like you're not good enough, or like you're a bad business owner, a bad VA, or anything like that. It has everything to do with your plan for your action steps. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. I watch VAs set their goal. Sometimes it's a lofty goal, sometimes it's not. It doesn't really matter what the size of the goal is, because then what I see them do, and this is a writer downer, okay, this is important. I want you to really note this, because if you're doing this, I'm going to ask you to stop. I see them put their goal absolutely dead last of everything else that they're doing in their life, behind their client work, behind the family calendar or the family needs, maybe even behind their day job if they have one of those. They book in 2 to 3 hours on a Sunday night and they say, "Oh, I'll work on my goal then." It sounds great, sounds like you have a plan, but it actually sucks as a plan. And the reason that it sucks is because when you only look at your goal once a week, it does not stay fresh in your mind. It does not stay top of mind. And you'll get distracted. Maybe you'll forget what you wanted. Maybe you'll forget what you're supposed to do. Because when you try to cram all of the working on it into one large block, that can be really overwhelming and it can be really paralyzing. Or you end up going down some serious rabbit holes. And the other thing is that you're always trying to remember at what point you are, right? And most common, you're going to get to Sunday night and decide that something else takes precedence and you just don't do it. So then you try to rebook the next Sunday and the same thing happens. And it's a week later, it's 2 weeks later. So daily actions are always better for a ton of reasons. But for that one that I just described, that is a really, really big part of it. And when you take short daily actions, I'm talking like 15-minute tasks, really short, then they take less time, but you're also going to do them. And when I work with VAs to help them figure out what these steps should be, when I show them the checklist that I use, and I do use checklists, I swear by them, I tell you guys to use them, it's because I use them myself. You're easily going to have time to get a smaller task done every single day. You can find 15 minutes. You might not be able to find 2 or 3 hours. I can hardly find 2 or 3 hours, especially on a Sunday, right? I think it's a good idea. Oh, I'll work on my business then. But the business is the thing that you want to help build the lifestyle that you want. It's the thing that you want to pay for you to be able to do all of the other things that you're now putting ahead of setting that goal. It's really, really important to prioritize that goal. And so with the task being 15 minutes, if you schedule something every single day, and you can totally take Saturday and Sunday off if you want to. Lots of business owners work on the weekends. You don't need to. If you do miss a day because something comes up, you're only 15 minutes behind. You're not 3 hours behind. You're not a whole week behind, are you? I can help you break down your goal into those actionable daily steps, and I can show you how to do it and create a checklist to help you move closer to your goal every single day. When you think about it every day, when you take a small action towards it every day, you're going to get there. It's one step at a time. Number 3 is read. You need to constantly be growing as a VA. Business owners need to learn new strategies, new tactics, new stuff to improve their abilities and their knowledge in business. And VAs are business owners. If you aren't currently reading business books, you really should be. It can be difficult to choose what to read, but I can give you lots of suggestions on that too. If you need to improve your mindset or your marketing or your money, team, strategy, whatever it is, choose a book that you want to learn something from and something that you plan to implement. It's not going to make any difference in your business if you read something and then you don't make any changes to your business. Maybe you'll be a little bit smarter, but there's always room to implement what it is, at least one thing that you learn, especially from a book. Building a good reading habit is also a way to remind you that you are, in fact, a business owner and you get to do whatever you want. And starting your day, at least that's when I like to read, if you start your day by reading, that's a conscious choice. You're not jumping out of bed, brushing your teeth, grabbing a coffee, and going and reading your email to see what other people want. You're doing what you want because you are the one in charge. So it can be a real reset every single morning to remind yourself that you are improving your mind and your decision making and all of those things because you're able to. For several years, I belonged to a business club called Thought Readers, and it was run by business coach Lisa Larder. It was fabulous. I loved it. And she chose the books we read every month, and she would actually ship them to our door. And we would have discussions on the content throughout each month. And oftentimes, she even brought the authors in to do Q&A calls with us, which was incredible. I would never get that opportunity with a lot of other people. And I got to talk to Dan Sullivan, who wrote The Gap and the Gain, among other things. And I think he's just amazing. And it was an incredible conversation. There were very few of us on the call that day. I think there were 4 or 5 of us because not everybody shows up for live calls. And I got to actually have a one-on-one conversation with him. It was amazing. So that was a really good opportunity for me. But the point I wanted to make was that I wasn't a reader at all before I joined Thought Readers. I'd start to read a book and I'd fall asleep or I'd get bored. I told Lisa this when she was trying to get me to sign up for Thought Readers. I said, I'm just not a reader. I read short things, lots of blogs, lots of magazines, a big, short content reader. But no books, like hardly ever, not nonfiction books, nothing. And but yeah, it was just one of those things that I didn't know how to pick a good book. I didn't know how to, I guess I really didn't know how to get the interesting pieces out of the book either. And it really helped to have her guiding us along. So through that program, I learned to read business books. I have a ton of them now. Some of them I haven't read because I didn't keep up with every month, but I was in it for about 3 years. So I have, a number of books. And I got business coaching from her. Like I say, even the author calls were amazing, but we got to ask her any questions that we wanted every single month. And she's an extremely successful business coach. And so it was really, really amazing to be able to be a part of that community and get that kind of input and expertise from her, as well as learning how to do something that a lot of people think is really, really simple, right? And I think that's how I know it made me a better business person because I chose at least one thing from every single book that we read to implement into my business. And it wasn't always the entire strategy of the whole book. It was sometimes just the one thing that would make my business better. I'd pull at least one thing out of it. And that's what I tell VAs to do too. It's like any training that you take, the trainings that I offer even. It's a waste of your time if you're just going to watch it and then not do anything about it. And you just think, oh, that's great. I'm going to, bookmark that for next time. You want to make sure that you're actually implementing the things that you learn from anywhere on a regular basis. But if you develop a good reading habit, even 30 minutes every morning, that's what I do, or over your lunch if you prefer it, you can improve your business vocabulary, your knowledge, strategy, and you have things to talk about too. It adds some structure to your day, which, like I said, I think is a really good reset every single morning. You can, read your book with your coffee. And it adds a good piece to your routine, which is really, really important for your success. I like the slow lead up into the day as opposed to, like I say, jumping in front of my email in my pajamas and wondering who has an emergency for me today. And I look for inspiration in the things that I read too. So if I read a chapter every morning, which is what I try to do, then I try to think about maybe how to do something that day or that week using that little bit of knowledge, or look for some kind of wisdom or content to share with you guys. And these often go into my podcasts as well. Reading is so good for your brain as well, and it's really easy to start. It's a great way to keep a positive mindset. You just need to pick up a book. And if you struggle to read or to choose books, that's something I can help you do by sharing what worked for me, because you couldn't be worse at it than I was about 5 years ago. And I'm pretty good at it now, and I really, really enjoy it. Number four is brainstorm and strategize. Strategizing is a good thing to do regularly, of course, in business. Daily, it's not necessary to create a full new strategy, but that's not what I mean when I say, doing this daily, but checking in on your strategy and your plan, your action steps, your productivity, absolutely essential to do every single day. Brainstorming to me is like making lists, right? I give this advice to VAs all the time to make lists of the things that are cluttering your thoughts and your mind. I find it really helps you to address the things that you want to get done at another time. You free up a lot of really valuable brain space when you write it down because you know you're not going to forget it. It's written there. And, when you can assign a different time to it to get it done, that's when you know that you're making a good decision. Not everything is urgent. In fact, very little is urgent. You can schedule time for all the things in due time. You can take that list and say, I'm going to work on that next month. And it's already gone from your brain because it's on the piece of paper, right? So, brainstorming is a great way to unload some stress from your mind. And a bullet journal can be a really good tool to do that. I talk a lot about my bullet journal. I use it every single day. I love it and I have for years. It's just a series of lists and notes and things that I can refer to anytime I need to. It's all contained into one book and I make a new list every day. There's another thing going into my bullet journal every single day. And when you're focusing on your strategy, you can track it, you can monitor it, you can analyze it, you can change or alter or tweak it. It's so important to be able to look in on these things every single day. So say for instance, if you're looking to find VA clients and you need to do some daily outreach to do that, by keeping a daily eye on it, you can see what's working for you. You can see what doesn't work and do less of that, and you can see what's working and or what needs tweaking or a little bit of changing, and then you can do more of that, do more of what works, do less of what doesn't work. Our time is really, really important. We all only have so much of it. And so we need to make sure that we're efficient and not waste it. And it's definitely one area that we can waste time is networking. And that's why it's a really important thing to work with a strategy. I was talking with a VA this week and she was headed to a networking event. And I said to her, what is your goal for the networking event? What do you want to come away with? From that networking event. And she hadn't really thought about it. I ask all the time. I ask everybody who's going to a networking event what their goal is. Because if you go with a goal, then you can actually make sure that you're looking towards that and you're trying to, it doesn't mean you're going to come home with 3 clients, but if you want to make 3 contacts that you can follow up with, that's extremely doable at any networking event that you go to. So it's really, really good. And this actually leads me into my last point, which is conversations. Now, number 5. If you're not having daily conversations with business owners, you're going to struggle to get good clients. I know so many VAs who only do marketing or networking when they're looking for new clients. And starting from that standing position is so much more difficult than doing a little all the time to keep your name top of mind in the communities that you're choosing to network in. I recommend doing daily conversations with at least 2 people every single day. And if you listen to any of my trainings, I say this all the time. 2 people every single day. It's manageable, no matter how busy you are, to talk to 2 people. And when I'm talking about doing discovery calls with 2 people, I'm just talking about interactions. On social media, it works. 2 people. The numbers work in your favor all the time for this. If you talk to 2 people every day, that's 40 to 60 people in a month. If you take the weekends off, it's 40, right? With 20-ish business days in a month. If you speak to 2 people every single day, that's 60. That's a lot of people. If you can't get one client from 40 or 60 interactions, you absolutely need to revise what you're saying to people in the interactions. It's simple math and it works. How many people do you need to connect with to get a client? I don't know that number, but we could work together to find out what that number is. You need to know that number. It's called your conversion percentage. And the only way to know it is to have conversations with people. It's easy to go from connecting to conversation to client. That's the simple equation. Not everybody you will connect with is going to want to have a conversation with you right away. You have to nurture that. You have to build a little bit of trust, a little bit of conversation with them before you can invite them to a sales conversation. So maybe you have to talk to 10 or 20 people or more to get 2 or 3 sales conversations. And when you're networking with the right people, this isn't hard because there's a whole bunch of them all in the same place, and you get to know what they want to talk about and what their struggles are, what their problems are, and the services that you offer to help support them. And the numbers of 2 to 3 conversations for 10 to 20 people, those are actually not very good numbers at all, but you understand what I mean. And then from the conversations that you have, and I'm talking sales conversations now, you should be able to get at least 5 or 6 out of 10 to sign on as your clients. That may sound high to you, and it may sound higher than a lot of other people will tell you. But if you're talking to the right people, those numbers are very easy to attain. So we want to strive for that 10 conversations so that we can get 5 clients. I used to get 8, 9, 10 of my 10 clients. I would convert just about everybody that I talked to on my calls because I was talking to the right people about the right things, right? And the numbers don't lie. I can help you with finding your people, deciding how many you need to talk to, with figuring out what it is you need to say to them, and how to manage your sales conversations so that you get the client. I can help you with all of those things. That's what I do. I'm actually going to leave this list off right here for today. I feel like that's a lot. I feel like we've covered a lot of things today. So let me ask you this. Which of these daily actions can you start taking tomorrow? To introduce a new habit, you want to focus on one thing at a time. So I've told you 5 today. And once you have one under control, then you add another one. You could be doing all 5 of these very, very easily within the next couple or few weeks or month. They really aren't hard to implement, but you do want to focus on one at a time. Make it a habit, build it into a habit. And if and when you do, you're going to be telling me that your VA business revenue has skyrocketed. It happens every single time. One step at a time, you can do it. Remember what John Maxwell said: you'll never change your life unless you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. It's a really good quote, and you need to write it down, and you need to stick it up in your workspace right now. I have it hanging in mine because it's one of the best quotes. And this is exactly what I help VAs do. I've told you what I do. I talk to you all the time about what I do. As a VA coach and trainer, I help you set yourself up for success, helping you fix the specific things that are going wrong in your business. When we work together, either privately or in a group, we talk very specifically about your business and your issues and you. And there's no one-stop shop for everybody when it comes to service businesses like VA businesses. I'll help you get clarity around your issues, and I'm happy to cheer you on as you work through the steps, the daily action steps, to fix them. I've helped hundreds of VAs through their challenges and got them on their way to growing their business and the lifestyle that they dream of, and I would love to do the same thing for you. You can work with me privately, like I said, or you can join the Virtual Circle, my mastermind group for VAs. Check it out at yourvamentor.com/TVC, as in the Virtual Circle. I bet it's exactly what you need to start running the VA business that you dream of. Reach out to me if you're interested. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.